baseball game and they had a bunch of detours there. Those old homes in Maplewood are demanding money that I could not believe, and to lose that character. So I just want you to know that I'm very much on board in doing whatever we can to preserve it. And I think that once they get on that list, if it's volunteered, that I don't know if you can go as far as a deed restriction, but I bought properties with deed restrictions that if somebody knows what they're buying, that it could be restricted that if you buy the house and the people that are volunteering are signing up for it, so they know that they might, sell their house to a smaller group by doing that, and maybe if they're willing to do it.
I would think they probably want to sell it to someone who has the same values in terms of wanting to preserve the house.
And so
they would be fearful of selling a house to someone who didn't care about it, was ready to,
And I think,
major damage.
one other thing, I think it's a shame of all those old Victorian homes that we have lost
We've lost a lot
in Nutley already, so I think
Look,
it sure makes the town.
for instance, we were speaking with Jeff Lank, was it? Who bought a property that was an old,
Franklin Ave.
on Franklin Ave, that was an old,
One of the last residential homes.
right, it was a Leopard property. And just approached him and said, look, I know you're going to renovate, you're going to do something. There was not a lot left to it. It was already destroyed to a great degree. And he, just reasoning with him, he said, yeah, you come in, if there's something of value, I'm going to demolish the interior. Maybe you can take some of the pieces and put it at the museum. So he allowed us to come in. There wasn't much left, so there wasn't really anything to say.
And Sal, you might find most people doing that, so long as, they're volunteering. They may not even know the historical significance.
Right.
You're giving them that.
But am I right that over the next 10 or 15 years of, let's say we strictly go volunteer with this, and then we understand that that designation goes with the house, not the owner, right? So again, that point that if you buy my house, you know what you're buying. 15 years down the road, we're going to have some teeth. Right, we're going to have 30, 40, 50 houses that do have restrictions on them in a positive way because the owners have signed on. And so I think what I'm saying with that is that I think it's okay to probably go the volunteer
Yeah, John, you're right.
and build up the base.
If you show me a contract, and I'm buying a house,
Right.
and it has all these provisions regarding historical significance, up front, I know what I'm signing.
Right, as opposed to telling you,
to telling.
yeah, right.
And I agree with that.
Let me take this one step further, all right? And I don't know how we do this, but I think it's something to think about. Maybe we should even think about providing incentives for people.
A beautiful plaque on their house. I mean, they're part of a nice
I don't know
club.
if it's a house,
way
I
to
don't know
promote
if
it.
it's some type of assistance. I don't know what form that could take.
Yeah,
But
I don't know if there's some grants
in a
out there
voluntary situation
for people who want to
provide
do
incentives.
restorations.
All right, so
Tax
that they
breaks
can
or whatever.
preserve the
Tax breaks they did years ago.
You guys could offer a tax break.
I'll take one.
Oh,
We might have to take out real hard here about the funding.
Tom's not gonna like that idea.
Day six.
Make them part of an exclusive historical club for Nutley.
Yeah.
People,
That's what.
yeah, so make them,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I agree. Anything we can do to demonstrate the significance of it
Yeah.
and the value, I think that there should be maybe there's the Nutley registry that goes up on the webpage that identifies the historical significance of these properties and maybe some historical information that's provided. Anything that can showcase that, I think is wonderful. And just two minor thoughts. It was suggested, I think, that there would be ultimately a notation on the deed, as well as I'm adding there should be a notation on the certificate of occupancy, which Nutley has a requirement you need a CO in order to transfer title. Those are just two other points to make people aware of the fact that it has historical significance. I don't recall seeing that in the ordinance. So, however, Alan, when you look at it, whatever that language is, that it needs to be there. I think that's important too.
Alan, I also had conversation with Dave Perry, Paddington Dola. They really don't have a method by which, I spoke with Antoinette, she said we probably could add something in our computer system that kind of, an asterisk or something that says this is an historic property. Because they're the ones who have to police when someone comes in to do some work,
Do you have a current list of houses and or properties that are on the list already?
We haven't,
Do you have a current list of?
We have lists of ones that we want to designate, but there's
Yeah.
no designations yet.
No designation.
Wait,
Well, you said there are buildings that are on the state.
Oh,
the state and federal, I think, the state
They
and
would still
federal,
have to be-
there are houses, they're
Yeah.
actually listed in, I think it was in the ordinance, some of the
Yes.
there were 5 neighborhoods, and it wasn't just buildings, there were some neighborhoods that were
Not in this
listed.
ordinance.
No, no.
In the.
And
master
specific
master
buildings.
Oh, in the master
plan.
plan.
It's in the
Yeah.
master
But they're not on Nutley's historic, obviously, we haven't
Right,
designated.
we'd still have
But
to
I
designate
didn't
one
see any
already.
problem maybe grandfathering those into Nutley to a fast track, because they're already on the state and federal, so I didn't want to have to go. I mean, this is a process, I know what it is to go through a zoning board or a planning board case, and you're asking us to make an application, send out notices, allow the homeowner and people within
Well, we can
200
correct
feet
the
to
language.
actually.
I think that whole provision of notice was
It-
really to make sure that the homeowner knew. And
Right.
if they objected, they'd have a method of objecting and appealing
Right.
the
But
recommendation.
we're also allowing people within 200 feet or anyone else in public to come and object as well, if you go through that same
Yeah,
process.
yeah, I'd like to discuss
That-
that a little later.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
would like.
I know what I charge for a zoning board or planning board case, for every house that we want to designate, that's a process, and it costs money too, to make that.
We could look at that.
So we gotta
I'm
look
sure.
at a simpler way to
We try to just
manage
mirror
that, or
the land use act.
fund us to
provision so
send
that
out the
it
notices
was
or whatever.
consistent.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
It just seems weird to notify people, say, hey, nothing's changing
Nothing's
over
gonna
here.
change.
Hey, 200 people, we're not doing anything over here. But I think the bottom line is, the main discussion we're going here is the committee would really have, at this time, have no objection if you would feel more comfortable putting something about a voluntary.
Yeah,
If you want to do
absolutely.
that, I'm sure the committee will be absolutely fine with that. And if that would make everyone feel better about it, we're willing to do that, because we're going to have our hands full with voluntary submissions.
Mr. Gentile, you take care of that?
So,
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.